Family dramas and English rain. Could there be a more classic royal wedding combo? The British royal family has always had a knack for combining tradition, spectacle, and, of course, the unpredictable English weather. On this particular day, the skies opened up, drenching the rolling countryside in a gentle, persistent rain that seemed almost poetic. The scene was set. A picturesque English village, its ancient stone church standing proudly against the misty hills, as guests arrived under a sea of umbrellas. The rain, far from dampening spirits, added a certain charm and intimacy to the occasion, reminding everyone that even royalty can't control the weather. In fact, some say that rain on a wedding day is a sign of good luck, a fresh start, a washing away of the past, and a blessing for the future. As the guests hurried inside, their laughter and chatter mingled with the soft patter of raindrops, creating a uniquely British atmosphere that felt both grand and deeply personal. Yet this time, the Sussexes' umbrellas stayed firmly in California. While the English countryside was awash with rain and royal tradition, across the Atlantic the mood was decidedly different. In sunny California, where palm trees sway and the air is thick with the scent of jasmine, Harry and Meghan were nowhere near the festivities. Their absence was as notable as the rain itself, a silent statement that spoke volumes. The couple, now firmly rooted in their new life, watched the storm from afar, their own umbrellas untouched, their world a blend of Californian sunshine and the occasional rare drizzle. It was a stark contrast to the damp, windswept hills of England, and a reminder of just how far the Sussexes have travelled, both literally and figuratively, from the heart of the royal family. Peter Phillips, son of Princess Anne and the Queen's eldest grandchild, married NHS nurse Harriet Spurling in a quietly intimate church ceremony. Think rolling hills, mist, and plenty of umbrellas. Unlike the grand televised royal weddings of the past, this was a celebration marked by simplicity and sincerity. The guest list was small, the setting humble, but the love between Peter and Harriet was unmistakable. Harriet, an NHS nurse who has spent years caring for others, brought a sense of groundedness and warmth to the royal fold. The couple exchanged vows in front of close family and friends, their happiness shining through the grey skies. The church, adorned with wildflowers and greenery, echoed with laughter and the soft murmur of well-wishers. Outside, the countryside seemed to wrap the celebration in a gentle embrace, the mist blurring the edges of the world and making everything feel a little more magical. For Peter, who has always preferred a quieter life away from the spotlight, it was the perfect way to begin this new chapter. King Charles, Queen Camilla, William, Kate, and all the regular royal crew turned up to cheer the happy couple on. The arrival of the senior royals brought a sense of occasion to the day, their presence a reminder of the family's enduring traditions. King Charles, ever the proud uncle, was seen sharing a warm embrace with Peter, while Queen Camilla offered words of encouragement to the bride. William and Kate, dressed impeccably as always, mingled with guests and posed for photos, their smiles genuine and their support unwavering. The atmosphere was one of unity and celebration, a rare moment when the royal family could come together without the glare of the world's cameras or the weight of expectation. For those in attendance, it was a chance to reconnect, to share stories and laughter, and to celebrate not just a marriage, but the bonds that hold them all together. But Harry and Meghan, not invited. Same for Prince Andrew. The absence of these high-profile royals was impossible to ignore. Empty chairs at the ceremony, names conspicuously missing from the invitation list, and a subtle reshuffling of family portraits all hinted at the underlying tensions. For some, it was a sign of the times, a reflection of the shifting dynamics within the royal family. For others, it was simply a matter of practicality, a way to keep the focus on the couple and avoid unnecessary drama. Prince Andrew, embroiled in controversy, was quietly left off the guest list, while Harry and Meghan's exclusion was both a personal and public statement. The message was clear. This was a day for Peter and Harriet, not for old wounds or tabloid headlines. Insiders put it simply: Peter and Harry haven't spoken in years. Once close cousins who shared childhood adventures and family milestones, their relationship has grown distant, strained by time, circumstance, and the pressures of royal life. Those who know them say that the rift is deep but not dramatic. It's the kind of quiet drifting apart that happens in many families, magnified here by the glare of public scrutiny. At past gatherings, their interactions were cordial but cool, marked by polite conversation and careful distance. Now, with oceans and new lives between them, the silence speaks louder than words. For Peter, the decision to exclude Harry was less about animosity and more about moving forward, about creating space for new beginnings and letting go of old expectations. Gone are the days when they'd pop up at each other's weddings. These days, the rift is all too real. There was a time when the royal cousins were inseparable, their laughter echoing through palace halls and country estates. They stood by each other at weddings, christenings and family holidays, their bond a source of strength and comfort. But as the years passed and their paths diverged, the closeness faded. The old photos tell the story. Two young men, full of promise and possibility, now separated by choices and circumstances beyond their control. The nostalgia is bittersweet, a reminder of what once was and what might never be again. For royal watchers and family members alike, it's a poignant illustration of how even the most storied families are not immune to change. Tabloids spun it as royal drama, but Harry just sent a gift and kept calm in California, celebrating Lilibet's birthday and working on new projects. While the British press speculated endlessly about snubs and scandals, the reality was far more mundane. Harry, ever the doting father, spent the weekend with Meghan and their children, marking Lilibet's birthday with cake, laughter, and a small circle of friends. He sent a thoughtful gift to Peter and Harriet, a gesture of goodwill that went largely unreported. In California, life goes on at a different pace, less formal, more relaxed, and focused on family and personal growth. Harry has thrown himself into new ventures, from charitable work to creative projects, determined to build a future on his own terms. For him, the distance from the royal fold is both a loss and a liberation, a chance to redefine what family means. In the end, it's less about snubs, more about families quietly moving forward, even if that means a little more distance and a lot less drama. The story of Peter Phillips' wedding is not one of scandal or sensational headlines, but of change, resilience, and the quiet evolution of family ties. As the guests drifted away from the church, the rain finally easing, there was a sense of peace and acceptance in the air. Life, like the English weather, is unpredictable, sometimes stormy, sometimes serene, but always moving forward. For the royals, as for all families, the challenge is to find joy in the present, to honour the past without being bound by it, and to embrace the future with hope and grace. Whether in the misty hills of England or the sun-drenched gardens of California, the message is the same. Love endures, families change, and life goes on.